I was 22 years old, the day I realized I didn't exist. Not in the way you think. I was breathing, walking, talking, but in my own family's eyes, I was a ghost. Let me show you what I mean. Picture this. I'm standing in our kitchen, holding a birthday cake I baked for myself. One single candle. My father walks right past me. My two sisters laugh in the next room. Nobody says a word. Not happy birthday, not even hello. They didn't forget. They just didn't care. That's when I understood something dark. In my family, there were only two types of people, the stars and the shadows. I was the shadow, and I had been one my entire life. Have you ever felt invisible in your own home? Like you're watching your family's life happen, but you're not really part of it? Drop a comment below. You're not alone. My name is Lily, and this is the story of how I disappeared from my family and finally found myself. Growing up in Denver, our house looked perfect from the outside. Big windows, white walls, expensive furniture. My mother, Catherine, was obsessed with appearances. Everything had to look flawless. But inside, it was cold, empty, like a museum, not a home. I had two sisters. Amber was the oldest, 28 years old. She worked in marketing and was loud, confident, always posting on social media. She was Mom's pride, the golden daughter. Every achievement, every promotion, every new boyfriend, it was all celebrated like a national holiday. Then there was Sophie, the youngest at 19, the baby of the family. She could do no wrong. If Sophie crashed the car, Mom would laugh and say, "Oh, she's just learning." If Sophie failed a class, it was the teacher's fault. And then there was me, Lily, the middle child, 22 years old. I was the one who did the dishes, who remembered everyone's appointments, who cleaned up after family dinners, who listened to everyone's problems but never shared my own. I worked part-time at a bookstore and took evening classes at community college. Not because I was lazy, because nobody helped me pay for anything. While Amber got a new car and Sophie got spending money, I got silence. Psychologists have a name for what I was: the scapegoat. In broken families, everyone gets a role. The golden child reflects the parent's success. The baby gets unconditional love. And the scapegoat, that's the person who absorbs all the frustration, disappointment, and neglect. That person becomes invisible so the others can shine. I didn't know this yet. I just thought something was wrong with me. The day everything changed started quietly. It was my 22nd birthday, March 14th. I woke up, checked my phone. No messages. I went downstairs. The kitchen was a mess from the night before Amber had thrown a party for her friends. Dirty plates everywhere. I cleaned it all up. I told myself, maybe they're planning a surprise. I went to my bookstore shift. Came home at 6 p.m. Still nothing. So I did something small. Something just for me. I bought a vanilla cake from the grocery store. I put one candle in it. I set it on the kitchen counter and waited. At 8 p.m., the front door burst open. Amber walked in first, laughing into her phone. Sophie followed, carrying shopping bags. My mother came last, talking about Amber's upcoming work event. They walked right past me, right past the cake. My mother saw the dirty coffee pot and frowned. "Lily, you didn't clean this. We need it for tomorrow morning." I stared at her. "Mom, it's my birthday." She blinked, like I'd said something in a foreign language. Oh, she looked at the cake. No smile, no apology, just, "Oh, well, happy birthday, sweetie." Then she turned to Amber. "Now, about the seating chart for your event." They left me standing there, alone, with my unlit candle. That's when it hit me. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't forgetfulness. This was a system. I was designed to be invisible. My role in this family was to serve, to fade, to make their lives easier. And I was done. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just made a decision. I went upstairs. I packed a backpack, 2 changes of clothes, my toothbrush, my laptop, the $400 I'd saved from work. I took one last look at my childhood room, plain, small, nothing like my sister's decorated spaces. I walked downstairs. I put my house key on the counter next to the cake, and I walked out. Nobody noticed. Nobody called. Nobody texted. I took a bus to Seattle. Why Seattle? Because it was far. Because it was different. Because nobody there knew I was supposed to be invisible. Fast forward 3 years. I'm 25 now. I live in a small apartment in Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood. It's cramped. The heater's broken half the time, but it's mine. I share it with a roommate named Marcus. He's a musician, terrible at cooking, but he always leaves me half his takeout and asks how my day was. I don't work at a bookstore anymore. I work at an artisan coffee roastery. I start at 5 a.m. roasting beans, learning the craft. My manager, Teresa, is this fierce woman in her 50s who taught me something powerful. "Lily," she said once, "coffee beans need heat and pressure to develop flavor. You can't rush it. You can't fake it. The best things take time and struggle." I thought about that a lot. In my old life, love was transactional. I did chores, I got to stay. I stayed quiet, I avoided punishment. Here, it was different. When I messed up a batch of coffee beans one day, I panicked. I started apologizing, offering to pay for them. Teresa just laughed. "Relax, kid. It's just coffee. We all mess up. That's how you learn." No yelling, no guilt, just kindness. That's when I realized I'd never had that before. For 3 years, I built a new life. Small, quiet, but real. Then one Tuesday afternoon, my phone buzzed. The name on the screen made my blood run cold. Amber, 3 years, 1,095 days of silence. Not one text, not one, "Are you okay?" Not one, "We miss you." Now, suddenly, my sister's name was glowing on my phone. I let it ring. It stopped. Then a text. Lily, call me. It's urgent. Not I'm sorry. Not I miss you. Just urgent. I stared at it. My hands were shaking. That old feeling came back. The feeling of being small, of being wrong, of being the problem. But then I remembered Teresa's words. I remembered Marcus leaving me notes. I remembered 3 years of learning that I mattered. I didn't call back. That evening, my phone rang again. This time, it was my mother, Catherine. I answered, not because I wanted to, but because I needed to know what they wanted. Hello, Lily. Oh, thank God. Her voice was frantic. Where have you been? We've been so worried. Worried for 3 years. Silence. Lily, please, we need you to come home. It's about the house. We're in serious trouble. And there it was. Not we miss you. Not we're sorry. It was about the house. What kind of trouble? I asked. Just come home. We'll explain everything. Please, Lily. Family sticks together. I hung up. I agreed to meet them. Not because I forgave them, but because I needed to see this with my own eyes. We met at a diner halfway between Seattle and Denver. Neutral ground. I arrived early. I sat in the back booth, hands folded, waiting. When they walked in, I barely recognized them. My mother looked exhausted. Her perfect hair was gray at the roots. My father, Richard, who I hadn't seen in years, looked broken. His shoulders slumped. And Amber, the golden child, looked dim, no makeup, messy hair, swollen eyes. They slid into the booth. The air was thick. You look good, Lily, my mother said weakly. I didn't smile. What do you want? Amber didn't waste time. Maybe panic had burned through her usual manipulations. I messed up, she said, bad. I've been using company credit cards for personal expenses. It started small, but it snowballed. They're pressing charges. The bank's foreclosing on the house. I just stared. My father leaned forward. We have one option, a consolidation loan, $80,000, but our credit is destroyed. We need a cosigner. The air left my lungs. After 3 years of silence, they didn't call because they missed me. They called because they needed my credit score. You want me to sign for $80,000? I said slowly. It's the only way, Lily, my mother begged. Your family. You can't just abandon us. I felt something click into place. A cold, clear understanding. 3 years, I said quietly. You didn't call for 3 birthdays. You didn't check if I was alive. Why? Amber looked down. Tell her, my father snapped at Amber. She hesitated. Then, in a whisper, I told them you left because you were angry, that you'd come back when you were ready. I said not to contact you. The room went silent. She'd cut me off. On purpose. She'd made sure I stayed invisible. I stood up slowly. I put a $10 bill on the table. No, I said. What? Amber's face went red. After everything we've done for you. Everything, I interrupted. Name one thing. Silence. "You're abandoning us," my mother said, her voice breaking. "No," I said calmly. "I'm just refusing to drown with you." I walked out. On the bus back to Seattle, my phone exploded. Angry texts, voice messages, guilt trips. I read one from Sophie. "You're heartless. I hope you're happy." And you know what? I was. When I got home, I did the simplest, most powerful thing. I opened my contacts. Catherine, delete. Richard, delete. Amber, delete. Sophie, delete. I blocked their numbers. It wasn't revenge. It was just housekeeping. The next morning, I was back at the roastery by 5 a.m. The smell of coffee filled the air. Teresa was already there. "Everything okay, kid?" she asked. I smiled. "Yeah, everything is." I went to the roasting room. I watched the beans tumble in the heat, turning from green to gold to rich brown. Teresa was right. The best things need heat, time, and pressure to become what they're meant to be. I used to be invisible, background noise in someone else's story. Now I'm still quiet, but it's a different kind of quiet. It's not the silence of being forgotten. It's the silence of peace. It's the sound of growing. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your value isn't determined by how loud others cheer for you. It's determined by how much you believe in yourself. Thank you for listening.